Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a look at the all-new Marvel Legends Rintrah wave, Wong, from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. This is the second figure I'll be reviewing for this wave, and it includes the left arm of the Build-A-Figure Rintrah, and also comes with some neat accessories like some spell-casting hands with your little runic circles or shields, whatever you call them, appearing around them. One other alternate normal hand, which is made for grasping this very nice looking sword. So, if you've seen my reviews before, you know this goes. We're going to take a look at Wong's packaging, then we'll open it up, we'll check out the figure itself, check out his articulation, accessories, features, all that. I'll take an opportunity to do one or two group shots with the previously reviewed Doctor Strange, and then at the end of the video, I'll give my final thoughts. So Wong comes in your standard Marvel Legends packaging. See his Build-A-Figure name up here. You get the logo for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And then just a big open window where you can see the figure, accessories, Build-A-Figure pieces. On the sides, you get this nice little shot of Wong, done up as a very realistic render of the character and actor. Which I always found funny that Wong's actor is named Benedict Wong. So it just works for him. And then he also stars alongside Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Doctor Strange. So really interesting set of coincidences going on there. Okay, so on the back, you can see, more full version of the artwork. And then a bit of flavor text here, which says, Wong takes over for the Ancient One as Sorcerer Supreme and leader of Kamar-Taj, teaching a new era of sorcerers to protect our reality from mystical threats. Now, that description's not entirely inaccurate, but I feel like it kind of leaves out the part where, Doctor Strange took on that title first, then Wong got it by default when Strange, poofed for 5 years. I know, they just kind of left that whole part out and made it seem like he took over right after the Ancient One. So it's one of those things where it's it's technically correct, but it's kind of missing some context there. There was a whole other Sorcerer Supreme between, Wong and the Ancient One, but, minor detail. I just find it weird they left that out. And then down here, we get our wave layout. We get the Doctor Strange, Wong, America Chavez, Master Mordo, and Astral Doctor Strange, and then the comic book characters, Despair and Sleepwalker. And then off to the left, we see our completed Build-A-Figure, Rintrah. So, pretty cool. Again, really nice render of Wong there. And yeah, that's all there is to see with the packaging, so let's go ahead and open it up. Now we get the figure in hand with this whole accessory loadout. So you get your Build-A-Figure pieces here, which is cool because it actually comes with an alternate hand. Almost knocked Wong over. For Rintrah here, so that'll be nice. Even the Build-A-Figure will get some options when it comes to his posing. Very much dig that. And then, of course, we get the sword-wielding hand, and his two shielded hands. So, pretty decent loadout. Not quite as busy as Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange also didn't have, bath pieces either, so I guess there's a trade-off there. Let's slide these out of the way so we can concentrate on Wong himself. So, Wong here surprised me because, the Doctor Strange was my first taste of a Legends figure, and I thought that his articulation and the way things worked was kind of, the standard. But it turns out they utilize different methods for articulation in this line. Now, you guys that are experienced in Marvel are saying, no duh, but, it's my first time, so. Alright, so check this out. The head works the same way, double ball joint. Also, look at that face. I mean, they really captured Wong's face here. I love this technology they use. The shoulders are universal and a little ratcheted, and thankfully easier to lift up and down than Strange's because his were a little tight and worried me. Got the bicep swivel, the double bend elbows yet again, the universal wrists here, that spin, hinge, all that. Now, this is where the differences start. So with Doctor Strange, he had just a waist swivel, just a 360 rotation, and then an ab crunch. But Wong, his whole torso section is on a ball joint, which I guess they did that because of the way his outfit comes together. So it actually gives him a greater range of motion than Strange, because he can still spin all the way around, as long as it doesn't stretch out his belt too much. I think it should. And, he can go forward and back, but he can also tip side to side a bit. So he's actually got a bit more posability. Now, the trade-off is obviously being a ball joint. It's going to be more prone to losing friction over time, so just be careful with your toy if you're going to go that route. I like the hands that he comes packaged with too. They're his like little portal drawing hands, right? So you can see he's doing the little 2-finger point with the one, and then, you know, kind of spinning his arm in a circle with the other one. So that's a really neat touch. Now we get to the legs, and the legs get a bit different than what we saw with Doctor Strange. So you still have the universal hips, though their articulation is greatly hindered by his robe, like even more so than Doctor Strange's. So you get some pretty good forward motion up to about here. Backwards, though, kind of stops at about there. And then your outward motion does not go very far at all. That's about all you get. And then he does have a thigh swivel up here that you can see. The knees, however, are not double bend knees, and they probably did it because you can't get a very deep bend in them anyway. So you get a single bend, goes like that. It is ratcheted though, so that's interesting. It'll help hold pose as well. And he does actually get a knee swivel too on top of the thigh swivel. So puts him a little more like a Motu toy. And then he does have ankle rocking. However, you'll notice that it's greatly hindered in the back by his pant legs. So he can't really point his toes down very well at all. So that's unfortunate. And, you know, I guess they were really determined to have his pants look a certain way, but that does stop you from being able to do much with his heel there. He does have the ankle tilt and even some rotation, which is on a different joint than the tilting. Isn't that kind of cool? So, I don't know, it's not that he's necessarily better or worse, just very different. He achieves about half his posability in pretty markedly different ways than the Doctor Strange toy. So I do find that interesting. I like how they have some variety in the way these things come together. They're not completely standardized, and they do whatever works best for the figure at hand, which I think is a good approach, because what works for Doctor Strange won't work for Wong, and it won't work for, you know, America Chavez. So I like it. I like that they can adapt and be smart about how they, you know, do all the articulation, the posing. Now, let's check out some of his alternate hands. So I'll start with the shield hands first. Prop this one on here. And he gets the biggest one on his right hand for some reason. I'm not sure why they come in different sizes. I guess just for variety's sake. I'll take off his little drawing hand there, put the shield on, and here you go. Now you can get Wong in more of a defensive type pose. And it's a shame you can't get him in like some deep knee bends, because I could see some really good poses with this, where he's kind of taking like a martial arts stance and doing all that, but you're not going to be able to do too much there. That's about it. So, pretty cool. And I will point out that these shield hands here are the exact same ones used for the Doctor Strange toy in the same wave. The only difference is that the hands are painted a slightly different color to match Wong's, you know, skin tone on the rest of his body. So, pretty cool. I'm not bothered that it's the same mold, because it just makes sense that when you have two sorcerers that learn to do this spell from the same school of sorcery, it's going to look pretty much the same, you know? I mean, they're using the exact same methods. So I really don't have an issue with that. I mean, that's, you know, if you're going to share parts, that's a place where it makes sense. And then lastly, I'm going to pop this hand off, kind of tight, to put on his weapon-wielding hand. And then place the sword. Look at that nice, like, ivory handle there. It's very nice. And you got this gold pommel that has what appears to be Chinese symbols on the top, I think. Kind of hard to make out. And I'm sure my camera's having a really hard time picking up on it. Is it gonna pick up? Let's see if I can get it to, like, manually focus. Yeah, it's about as close as I can get, unfortunately. Alright, and then he's got some nice silver paint on the blade. So, overall, pretty good looking. I just gotta squeeze it in his hand here. Alright, so now this really works, right? Because he has this, like, astral shield that he can use with his sword. So he's got a whole sword and board thing going on. I really like it. I think this is, you know, more or less how I'm going to display him on my shelf, letting him have a shield, but also getting a sword to help set him apart from Doctor Strange. Speaking of Doctor Strange, here's a nice group shot so you can see the two brothers in arms together. And like I said, the shield hands, same pieces. Aside from that, these guys are very, very different to one another. I could be wrong, but I don't think they share any other tooling, which is, you know, pretty good. I'm not as intimately familiar with, you know, all the different bits of tooling used in Marvel Legends. I know that they apparently do reuse a lot. It just may not be as obvious on this as it is on something like, say, Tformers or Masters of the Universe. That could also just be different levels of experience, too. I mean, I've been collecting Transformers since I was quite young, so I do have an eye for them. So maybe as I collect these more, I'll be able to just look at something and be like, oh, that's the pants used from so-and-so. But right now, I may not always catch on to part reuse. But feel free to point it out to me in the comments so that I get a better understanding of, what parts are used where. All right, so these two, they look really good together, especially since they did such a good job capturing their faces. You can reenact a lot of scenes from the movies or just make up your own, right? A lot of people love using figures like these for like stop motion videos and stuff, so you can have a ball. Now, one thing I had wondered since I opened this guy up is, can he use Doctor Strange's cape? And I think it's fitting, right? If he's the Sorcerer Supreme now, he should be able to. And I'm happy to report that he can. Now, be careful, it can make him kind of back heavy, because it is a very heavy cape. There we go, now it's on better. All right, it doesn't fit him quite as well as Strange. Wong is a bit broader in the shoulders and stuff, so it sits a little more loosely on his shoulders than it does Steven's. But overall, he can wear it just fine. You see, it stays on there. It looks pretty good. So if you want to let Wong fly around with a cape, you can do that. He's fully compatible with it. And this completes our look at the new Multiverse of Madness Wong. I will say, I do like this figure. I think he really just truly captures the likeness of the character and the actor. I love the intricate layering on his outfit here. It's very nice. There's so many nice little details, the texturing, the colors, all that. I'm a little disappointed by his leg articulation. It's very, very much hampered by his outfit. I mean, all the joints and everything are there to get some pretty good articulation. The only thing he's really lacking in that department is the double knee bend. So, it is unfortunate. You can only really get like straight-legged or A-stance poses out of him and not really anything else too extreme, not without risking, warping or damaging his robe. So I would have liked to see them have some way to make that a little bit better. But that's really my only nitpick on this. I think the accessories that he does include are very nice. The shield hands are cool. The portal summoning hands are really neat. Like, I instantly recognized what those were supposed to be. You got the one hand pointing, the other one, spinning around. Very cool. And of course, the sword is also very nice. The really nice gold pommel with the ivory handle, the silver blade, really just works. Now, I admittedly don't remember if this is a sword that Wong has used previously, or if it's something that, maybe is a comics only thing, or it might appear in the new movie. I don't particularly remember him using a sword, but could just be my memory. Hopefully, if he hasn't, it does turn up in the new movie, because I'd like to see him wielding it. It's really nice looking. Look at that bracer right there. That's nice. The gold and blue there. Very Egyptian looking, honestly. So yeah, I really dig him, and I think if you are a fan of the MCU and you do like the character of Wong, you like the actor, I mean, Wong's awesome. Wong needs like his own show. I can see it now, right? Like a Disney Plus series, Wong, Sorcerer Supreme. I could see it. And it'd be very entertaining to watch Wong go around and just like scold a bunch of upstart young sorcerers in training and all that. Maybe it'll happen. I think Wong needs more love. I mean, he's been showing up a lot lately, which is cool. But he's such a funny character and such a very cool character. I'd love to see him get his own little spin-off series or even a movie. I'd watch a movie with Wong in it. So, that is how I feel about this figure, and the character, I guess, by extension. So now I want to know what you all think of this. Do you see yourselves picking this up? Are you a fan of Wong, and do you want a good Wong figure? They've probably already made one for like the first Doctor Strange movie, I'm sure, but do you see yourself getting this one? Is he different enough from the other one for you to pick up? Or are you not interested for some reason? Maybe you already have a Wong, you really don't need another one, you don't like the Build-A-Figure in this wave, or just any other reason? Any and all feedback is always welcome in the comments section. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to toss it a like. Let YouTube know you want to see more stuff like this. If you do want to see more like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. I thank you for joining me for this look at the new Marvel Legends Multiverse of Madness Wong. And with all that said, I will see you next time.